Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I am Lilly and today we're going to talk about unrest and appeasement. Unrest is the absence of happiness, and this is a negative reaction that your tribe members will have to any or all situations. Any reactions are a direct result of your leadership. For instance, how you set your tribe policies and how you're governing your tribe overall. Some initial unrest can also be exacerbated by certain grades in the biology of some traits in your members, specifically will and fitness. There are 5 types of unrest in the tribe, and you can have a combination of any of these 5. All types of unrest has a build-up period, and the longer they go with this unrest, the more it will build. The different types of unrest will also have different max numbers that they can reach. The first one is access to any housing and also access to better quality housing. For example, if your tribe knows that other tribes has roundhouses, then pelt huts will not be a popular choice for them to sleep in. They want the roundhouse. You can tell if your people know of better housing and want better housing by either checking the grayed out housing option in the build tab, or simply by clicking a member and see what they think of their current housing. They will be just as mad if you have the option to build better housing, yet you are still offering them the small straw huts. They will also very freely give you their opinion about the housing. The further away from the end of list of houses you currently have built, the more unpopular they will be. You can find the quality of service if you hover over the housing icons. Red means it adds to unrest, while green means it detracts from unrest. Basically, unrest is plus red, while appeasement is minus green. Number 2 is lack of food. If they have to go a long time with too little food, no matter if there is too little food incoming to camp, the food is being locked down, or you rationing them, they will grow unrest as nobody likes to go around feeling hungry all the time. Number 3 is how they like their food. If you do not present them with any fresh produce such as fish, meat, honey, berries, bread, milk and cheese, they will build a dislike of food unrest. Foods they really dislike is all the grain types. They do not like to scrape out the bone marrow from bones, and they certainly do not like roots. Number 4 is work hours, and the higher work hours they have, the more they will build their unrest. The longer you have higher work hours, the more likely it is that people will in the end become too weak to work and they will start leaving. Having too high work hours basically mean that they do not get enough time to relax after work. They get no time to pray, too little time to eat, and too little time to spend with their family. Needless to say, this is not a smart or popular move. Number 5, last but not least, is the lack of grace for deceased loved ones. If you do not have any graves available when a tribe member dies, their relatives will be very upset and immediately start building unrest. You will only have a few days to get graves up, or the tribe members will max out their unrest. In larger tribes, you could have more than one member of a family dying more or less at the same time, and each death will give individual unrest. So if 2 people from same family dies more or less at the same time, you will see 2 rows of unrest in the relatives' individual pages. And likewise, if 3 members die from same family, you will find 3 rows of unrest, each growing exponentially for every day you do not have any graves. This is a singular type of unrest combination that we can avoid if we always make sure we have plenty graves available. The amount of unrest per type is decided by time passed since the unrest started, but can also be affected by the individual negative grades of traits, and the level of will is then deciding when or if they will leave the tribe. The grades that tend to build much more unrest and much faster than anyone else are all the negative grades of fitness or will. Each trait has 3 positive and 3 negative grades. The worse the negative grades are, the more likely they are to build unrest. High will leave quicker. in beginner's mode, sometimes down to 60, while low will can sometimes accept up to 90 or more before they have had enough. These thresholds are all individual, but most commonly people will start living at around 80. On hardcore, people will build Unrest much faster and also leave much sooner. The max numbers on any type of unrest that you will get is plus 50 unrest for housing, plus 50 unrest for food, plus 20 unrest for lack of enjoyable food, plus 50 unrest for work hours, and plus 25 for lack of graves per deceased. Some of these unrests cannot be completely avoided, such as a lack of housing after you have just landed with your tribe. You will not have enough housing for all the first night, no matter what you do, but we can reduce the unrest by first of all give alternatives that gives less unrest, and also by adding any type of appeasement. Sleeping in the open is plus 50 unrest. We can avoid this by simply place down extra fireplaces, and the reduction of unrest can be the difference between members leaving or staying. In addition, we can also use religious structures to appease some of the unrest even more. Placing down an offering that people can pray to will give some appeasement from the unrest for having to sleep by the fireplace. Religious structures do have limits to the appeasement they will grant. A Mesolithic offering will grant minus 20 on unrest, while a Neolithic offering will grant minus 30 on unrest. Giving your people fresh food to eat will also appease some unrest, so make sure they are allowed to eat the fresh food you have in camp. This is a direct unrest deduction, going up to 20 if they are allowed to eat it for several days in a row. The longer people have to sleep in the open or by a fireplace, the higher they will build their unrest. In beginners, you can go for quite a few years with only fireplaces if you avoid any combination of other types of unrest. So basically, if you cannot get enough housing for many months, do not up your work hours and do not ration your food, as by having only one type of unrest you can avoid members leaving you due to having a combination of unrest. If you click a member with angry face, then hover over the angry face, you will get a list of unrest and appeasement types, their values, and also the total unrest due to all the factors below. The red is unrest, the green is appeasement, and the total unrest number is the unrest minus the appeasement. Basically, it is red minus green equals total unrest. You can hover over any housing, service object, or religious structure to see the unrest or appeasement value that the services provide.